Hi, I'm Jen. I'm here at the Y, and today I'll be teaching Core Freestyle, which is a balance class with muscle toning, muscle endurance exercises. So if you are able at home to get a hold of a 2-pound hand weight, a 2-pound weighted ball, a 4-pound weighted ball, or a 4-pound hand weight, that would be great. It's not necessary, but it could give you some resistance. You can also maybe find items in your home. I know that you might be concerned about going out. So maybe there are some things that you could use at home. Something that weighs 2 pounds or more. A 4-pound ball is equivalent to a bag of sugar if you can find it at the stores. And a 5-pound bag of flour is something that you could use instead of maybe a hand weight or a weighted ball. So I just want to say to my members that come on Monday, Wednesday, that I miss you. And for those who are tuning in for the first time for Core Freestyle, welcome. And as the saying goes, there are no strangers, just friends we haven't met yet. So I hope you enjoy the class. I'm going to start out without any equipment for our warm-up. So I'm going to have supported stretch for my back. And you choose the depth that you want to go into, but think of it as a cat back stretch. So supporting my back, and I want to round out through my spine. Again, to a depth that is challenging for a stretch, but is not going to hurt. And then do that one more time. And slowly come on up into some shoulder rolls, followed by a neck stretch. So as long as there's no pain or discomfort, ear toward the shoulder, and then slowly down in front, over to the other side, and then slowly back down in front. Take your time if you're tight. Perhaps with tension, you might carry some more stress. Reverse the shoulder rolls and the muscles in your neck. Awesome. We'll start out with lifting up your foot so that this is our first trial test of balance. And I'm going to try to minimize the shift that I have to the weight-bearing leg. And it can start out as being just a low-level lift or potentially moving that knee up a little higher, which is a little harder to maintain balance and go slowly. If you'd like to make it even more challenging, you could just add a low-level arm movement. Because we're just in warm-up. Most of the exercises that we'll do today don't take up a lot of space. But do make sure that you are clear as far as nothing that you'll step on in front of you, beside you, or behind you. I'm keeping all of my equipment out in front so I can see it. Last time on each side. So we're warming up the muscle groups that we're going to be using rhythmically because it's with movement. And now I want you to hold that leg lift. You choose how high. If you want to bring it up a little higher, add some gentle support. And now an ankle circle. And try to get both directions. In between, we'll do a supported back stretch like we did earlier with that rounded spine. Squat, cat back stretch. Slowly come on up and now switch to the other side. Again, start low. Slowly move it up. Gentle pressure for that hamstring glute stretch. And add your ankle circles. Awesome. You're going to take that same leg. It's a perpendicular stance so that my toe is facing the sidewall here. I'm going to transfer my weight to the front knee and then to the back. Transfer it to the front, watching my knee position that it's not too far under, so I have to move my foot further. Transfer my weight back. We're going to add a reach to that, but I want to maintain support here. So it's a press and then a pull. Exhale as you press. Take a pause, take a breath here, and you can exhale while you're moving. And at each pause, that's where you're gonna take your breath in. And make this your last one. We're gonna hold this, line up your hands, keep your forearm in contact with your quadricep as you take a breath in, and slowly bring it down to a position that is challenging, but that you can maintain your T position from one hand to the other. Inhale, exhale. Exhale if you're going to take it lower to help you get there. Take a breath in, slowly and under control. Bring it back, and then come back to the center for that supported back stretch. Slowly come on up. And let's do it on the other side. So it's a perpendicular stance. Toe faces the side wall, other toe is facing front. Test out your leg positioning. If my foot is here, my knee is way over my toe, that's gonna put pressure on my knee. So I wanna widen out my stance. With that transfer of weight, here's my support, and I'll add my push overhead. With my breathing, exhale, move, pause, take a breath in. Exhale, move, pause, take a breath in. It just takes a fraction of a second. I just don't want you holding your breath. Make this next one your last one. Here's my support with my forearm, lining it up. Take a breath in, slowly bring it down, keeping this line to a position that is challenging for you, but you're successful at it. If you want to go lower, use your breath as an exhale to take it lower. And take a breath in. Slowly come on up, turn your toes in, and take it in for a back stretch one more time. Slowly come on up. Awesome. So now we're going to work on balance, doing one side at a time. So let's have our left leg be our stationary leg, and our right leg is going to be our circling leg. So while I'm trying to stay balanced, I'm going to be mindful of my posture, starting from my head, through to my shoulders, through my back, a little bit of bend in my knee, and if you want, you can add on an arm movement. That might make it more challenging to be successful, so you choose. It might also affect your range of motion and your speed. So you have to decide, if you make it harder, am I still getting the benefits? Last two, and last one. Switch over to the other side. You may have one side that is more comfortable than the other. That's pretty typical with a dominant or a non-dominant side. So I always start with the legs, and then I add the arms. If you need to touch down with your toe at any point, that's okay. It's a balance check, and those balance checks may help us to be more successful, so that maybe we don't need them as often. Maybe we won't need it at all. Last two, and last one. Good job. Next up is a knee lift front, followed by a straight leg lift back. So one leg is supporting, bringing that leg up, and then slowly bring it down. Bring your toes into flexion, so point your toes towards your shins to go into a straight leg lift back. I want to make sure that I'm not arching through the back. And we're going to make this harder. So hold that leg back, both arms out in front. So you're going to try to keep your line from your fingertip to your heel, and lift that toe up, because now you're on your own. Keep that line, and slowly hinge. Awesome. Take a breath in and slowly return. And then you can do it on the other side as well. Change the legs, toe back. We warmed up with our knee lift front, straight leg lift back. So that's our movement to warm up for our pose. Want to make sure that my back isn't arching. Make this your last one. Toe comes down, here's my line. I want to maintain this line as I hinge from my hip and take it forward. Take a breath in, lift off. Now you're on your own. And then take a breath in and slowly take this forward, keeping that line from hand to foot. Inhale, exhale, and slowly return. Awesome. Into that back stretch. Good job. We're going to use our weighted ball for some exercises, but let me show how you progress to that point. So we're going to take another leg movement without the weighted ball and then add it, and you decide. Right leg is my stationary leg, and your movement, bringing my foot forward, is out to the side, and then sweep across. Slowly out to the side, and sweep across. My arm movement is at shoulder level, so I'm going to try to mirror my arm movement so they're similar, whether it's a single arm or a double arm. And last one. So that's my preliminary movement to see if I can be successful without the weight. Then I can take my 2-pound hand weight. I'm going to do opposites. Stationary leg. I can start down low to make it easier. I can go low to shoulder level to make it a little harder, or I can maintain my arm position at shoulder level. And you could certainly, if you're successful with a 2-pound can of soup or a 2-pound hand weight or weighted ball, you could gradually increase that. Again, as long as you're getting a good range of motion and your speed is under control. Last one. Awesome. Let's switch and go to the other side. Again, the progression would be no hand weight. I'm just going to go right to the hand weight. But first, testing out my range of motion before I make it harder. I don't want to twist through my torso. So if you're able to have a mirror in front of you, that mirror is a tool to help you with your form, your posture. Here's my low to high, or keeping it at shoulder level. Exhale as you move. Pause, take a breath in. Exhale, move. Pause, breath. So you'll decide how many repetitions are challenging for you, and hopefully, as you build up in your endurance, you'll be able to do more and more. Last one. Awesome. Put that down. Don't forget to hydrate. All right, our next exercise is going to be with just your body weight, and it's a simple supported squat. It's not the same as the stretch, and that my back stays flat for my squat. I have one hand supporting, one hand coming forward, or both hands stay close to my legs in case I need it. I can drop my hands. And progressively moving up would be that lift. So without any weight, it's still work with a slow, controlled speed. But you may progressively want to make it heavier or harder, more resistance to carry. So I can start out with the weighted ball, supporting my back with one hand, holding with the other. Or both hands, keeping that ball in close. Or the next level, adding up an arm movement. So I'm going to bring back support and add my push and pull back. Or if your back is okay, test out your range of motion, but keeping your back flat, choosing your depth. Exhale, push and pull. Last two. And last one. Good job. We'll go back to balance. We did a movement with a frontal plane knee lift. We did a posterior plane side leg or rear lift. And we did a lateral movement. And we did a circular movement. So let's go back to the frontal plane. And with that knee lift, I'm going to add an extension and then a pushback. When I do my pushback, I'm going to make sure that my low back doesn't arch. And I keep my positioning from my head through my hips, through my heel in that same position from the side. Knee lift. Push back and a counter lean forward. If I want to add an arm movement, I'm going to keep it similar to my leg position. Knee up, push back, counter lean forward, knee up, push back, forward. And our last one. In this position, I'm going to take both hands out in front, and you can hold and do a pull in, and a push out, a pull in, and a push out, and one more time, and push out. Keep that line, and slowly come on up. Into a stretch, because that's a lot for that lower portion of your spine. Supported. This time it's a rounded spine stretch with your squat. And slowly come on up. So let's try it on the other side. Relax through the upper body to start with. Knee lift up. Into that straight leg lift. Push back, because you could keep it to just this. And practice this, working on your range of motion and your speed. Or, next up, add the arm. Touch down in between if you need it. Sideways. So this is getting us ready to hold. Oh, I forgot to do the kick. The kick right. Right there. All right, let's make this the last one and get ready to hold. Make sure you start with that straight line. Hold it in. Take a breath in, exhale, push it out. Breath in, hold it in. Breath out, exhale, push out. One last time. Hold it in. And extend, keep that line. And slowly bring it up. And then bring it down. Maybe I have company. Somebody can come in and take my class. And bring it on up. Let's reverse the shoulder roll. Followed by a neck stretch. How am I doing on time, Mary?
You've got about 5 more minutes.
All right. 5 more minutes. Okay. So this time when I'm teaching, I'm not using any equipment so that you can see that a lot of these exercises, you won't need any equipment, you'll just need a little bit of space. The next class that I would like to teach will be using the stability balls and maybe a little bit more equipment in case you have those. In case you're making a trip to Walmart to pick up sugar and flour, milk, toilet paper, paper towels, maybe there will be a stability ball on the shelf still, or maybe there will be a hand weight that you could use. So just an idea if you're able to do that. I'm going to go to the floor and do some abdominal work. I'm going to bring it down on the count of 13 to a position where I can start my basic crunch. Hold on if you need to with both hands. Maybe have one hand free, the other hand holding underneath. But start with a nice straight back. Take a breath in and slowly bring it down on 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In this position, my feet are too far away to protect my lower back, so I'm going to bring them in closer, feet hip distance apart. My fingers stay long to support my head, not to pull. Elbows are back. So I'm going to find my range of motion from hovering to my peak position, which is not very big, but I still want to try to make it effective by adding a hold at the top or a hold at the hover. And this lets me know what my range of motion is for today. It might change. I'm going to add a slow bent knee, lift and lower. Be careful of your low back. If it bothers your low back, then don't add the leg movement. And now I'm going to make it a 2 count. So just before my foot touches, I'm going to come up and do a second before I switch to the other side. Exhale as you lift. Maybe inhale as you lower. Exhale, lift, pause, take a breath in. Exhale, lower, switch. 2 count again. Trying to coordinate the speed of my leg movement and my pulling. I'm pulling from here, not with the hands behind my head. Let's just do a single. Elbows stay back. My fingers stay long. And last one on each side. So now I want to build up not just the endurance of my abdominals, but with the muscles in my neck that are a lot smaller than my abdominal muscles. But I still want to work on them. So I'm going to go unsupported, as if I'm pulling myself up on a rope. I'm going to reach and try to lift up that shoulder blade as high as I can with each reach. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now, if the muscles in your neck start to get tired, because they will, you can either go back to supported, your basic crunch, or I can support and do 2 reaches on each side. So use the support when you need it. If you don't need it, maybe it just gives you some recovery. We'll make this our last 4, 3, 2, and last one. So keep your fingers long, hands back behind your head. And extend one leg and go back to a basic crunch to find out what my range of motion is now at this point. Lift and hold, supporting elbows back. I'll find out what my leg range of motion is with a slow speed, because this is a pressure stretch for your glutes and hamstrings. So be gentle. Once you've found your range of motion, I'm going to add that basic crunch, keeping my elbows back from hover to peak. It's a big movement, so take a nice deep breath and a nice slow exhale. Again, do as many as you want on each side, but I'm going to go for a holding stretch and work my abdominals by releasing my hands from behind my head. Gentle pressure, because I don't want to pull on this leg. And then do another ankle circle for all of that balance work that we did, especially on this rug, was extra challenging. Very good. And switch. Bring your hands back behind your head. Extend the other leg. Basic crunch. Hold it up on top. So I'm still working the abdominals while I find out how flexible is this side for my hamstrings and glutes. Still slow, controlled speed. For just a couple, and then add your basic crunch. Elbows back, fingers long. Try not to pull on the muscle on your neck. Use the muscles of your abdominals. Last one. Hold that leg up. Gentle pressure for that hamstring stretch, but I'm still using my abs while I'm unsupported for this stretch. Ankle circle. And circle the other way. And then bend at the knee. To get up, you can either roll off to the side, or you can make it a little more work. Do what I do, what's called a rock and roll. So I'm going to gradually build momentum, holding on, keeping my head up, a little at a time, until I can get up to a sits position. And then finish with a stretch. So just light support to one side, and then back to the center into a sinking, slouching, rounded spine stretch with my chin down. Slowly come on up. Switch to the other side, gentle pressure here. So lean over. And then come on up. As long as it doesn't hurt, I'm still sitting tall. As long as it doesn't hurt your neck, slowly looking up. Back to neutral. Our last stretch will be our next stretch geared toward the shoulders. Sitting tall, slowly down in front, over to the other side with a pause. Come back down in front, over to the other side, and up. So most people that take my class know that I ask a question of the day. because where I work in first grade, we have a question of the day. So I'm not in school anymore, so I'll still come up with a question of the day. So my question of the day is, who can you call, who can you contact to be supportive and to be positive? So I want you to think of who that person would be and then do that. So my question of the day is, who can you give support to? Thank you. I'll see you next time.